Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and I'm going to do my comic reviews for the week of April 25th, 2012. Alright, first of all, let me get started by saying I do not have Secret Avengers 26. I'm very frustrated about that because when Secret Avengers number 25 was set to come out, the store I go to didn't have it then, and when I asked them about it, they said, yeah, they'd order it for me. Well, they haven't ordered, and that didn't come in. And now, this week, Secret Avengers number 26 hasn't come in, which I'm very disappointed about. And I really am. Usually, I get great service at that store, but now it's just really this one particular book. It's mostly I did talk to them, and they said that, yeah, it wasn't in the box because apparently the shipping company made a mistake. So now they're expecting that to come next week. So I'm probably looking at making another bonus review for Secret Avengers. And I'm really disappointed because 25 was the conclusion to the story arc that I was currently reading, and 26 this week was supposed to be the lead-in, was supposed to tie into Avengers vs. X-Men with the team in space that's getting ready to fight the Phoenix Force. That, I'm really disappointed I didn't get that. But what's done is done. I can only hope for the best now. Let's continue on with this week's comics reviews. Okay, I only have one Marvel book this week, and that's Captain America number 10. Basically, we learn Sharon Carter has found out from Machine Smith that apparently when Bravo blasted Steve a couple of issues ago, basically we learned that the thing causing Steve's transformation while deactivating the super soldier serum is actually nanotech that Bravo shot into Steve's system a few issues ago, and it really isn't his mind, which is something I thought of. I thought it was all psychological, but apparently it's physical. Oh, well, technological since it's nanotech. Anyways, Steve's been infected by nanotech, and the only way the nanotech didn't work was when Steve was going through brief periods of an adrenaline rush, but nevertheless, it still blocked his strength. And with that information, Tony Stark is able to use some weird ray, zap Steve, and boom, he's back to being Captain America. Then Captain America and Sharon Carter go off to deal with the current Mad Bomb ride going on, and while the ride's going on, unfortunately, Falcon has fallen under the influence of the Mad Bomb, and also there's several agents of Hydra disguised as riders out there. So Captain America and Sharon Carter swoop in, fight, and Steve's confronted by Falcon. And right when Falcon's about to deliver the killing blow because Bravo briefly showed up and shot Steve again, don't worry, it didn't take away his powers, it just made him paralyzed and kind of talked to Steve in a way, threatening manner, standard supervillain stuff, but nothing really big happened there. And of course Bravo left. Then Falcon was getting ready to take advantage of it by shoving a huge brick over Steve's head. Iron Man flies in, saves the day by shooting everyone with the beam that reverses the Mad Bomb's effects, and everyone's back to normal. And in the final scene of the comic, when Steve talks to Sharon about the deal she made with Machine Smith in order to get the information about what happened to him, Sharon reveals that when Machine Smith left the helicarrier, she infected him with a virus that's causing him to slowly lose his memory. So yeah, there's that. This was a very not anticlimactic ending. It was just, come on, the title of the book is Captain America, and yet we have Iron Man saving the day. Come on. It's really ridiculous. Plus they kind of went a little overboard with the support cast. I know Captain America is friends with everyone on the A-list, but Falcon, Hawkeye, Tony Stark, it's just a little ridiculous. And just this whole Powerless story arc, it feels like it's basically filler until we get to Captain America finally confronting Hydra and Steve and Agent Bravo. Just, if you have, I would say skip this issue. Even if you're reading it, you can just skip it because it's a very anticlimactic ending. I'm not sure what's going to happen next, though, but I'm probably going to give Captain America one more shot. And if I don't find that interesting, then I'm probably going to drop the book now. Just very not exciting. Alright, now for DC Comics. And first off, we have from DC, Teen Titans, number 8. This is basically a prelude to the big culling story arc that's supposed to cross over with Superboy and I think Legion Lost. And the first part is supposed to come out next week in Teen Titans Annual #1. Anyways, nothing really but filler here. We're introduced to the New 52 version of Omen, aka Lilith, who, well, before the whole relaunch, you may remember Lilith as a classic member of the Teen Titans who was killed right before Donna Troy. But now, apparently, the New 52, Omen now works for Harvest, and she's pretty much mentally torturing the Titans so that she can sort of prepare them for Harvest to use in his goals. And we're also revealed that while she's been mentally preparing every one of the team members, they've also been pretty much given these new suits that strongly resemble Superboy's. And Harvest pretty much gets ready to send the New Titans to the colony, and he briefly calls them his new Ravagers. So, really, this book was just about promoting the culling. That's pretty much the whole purpose of this. Not so sure. I think the suits. I don't know. I mean, the whole Tron-like suits. They kind of work for Superboy and Red Robin, but I don't know. On everyone else, everyone else as a team, it just kind of seems a little ridiculous, honestly. Basically, the culling, Teen Titans #8. It's just a lead into the big culling thing that's going to happen soon. But I'm gonna check out culling and see if it's any good. But I am not happy with the issue because of what they did to Omen. I mean, come on, you take a former hero. It's really not going to fly with a lot of fans of the classic Titans. I'm telling you that right now. That was a dumb move, DC, okay? You took one, I think she was very beloved by some fans, and you took that character and you made her into a supervillain. Come on, really? That's just dumb. It's really, really dumb. Okay. Next up, something that wasn't a complete disappointment. The Flash, #8. Alright, we learned a lot more about the Speed Force in this issue. This guy right here, Turbine, he was apparently sucked into the Speed Force by one of the many causing vortexes that's happened throughout the time stream. And it pulled Turbine in, and he's been stuck in the Speed Force for about 60 years. He was pulled in during 1944, and he's been stuck in there for like 60 years, and he's gone crazy. He really misses his family, and now that Flash has gone to the Speed Force, he pretty much talks to Flash, and Turbine reveals to Flash that he's actually a release valve for the Speed Force's energy. Okay, because over time, all the energy in the Speed, because apparently the Speed Force is like this constant ball of energy that just keeps moving and building up energy, and it basically creates like this huge, big pressure ball thing that every time the Flash runs, though, he gives off the Speed Force energy, which also helps kind of release the energy so that it can remain stable. And my guess is when Flash does, and you can guess what happens if the Flash doesn't run, is that it will probably all build up and then destroy the Speed Force, which could have drastic consequences on the time stream itself. Okay. Anyways, Turbine also tells Flash that he's been trying to get home for years, and every time he gets close to exit, he briefly and also okay, I'm sorry, it's time travel involved, so if this stuff gives you a headache, you can just skip this until I get to the end notes. Anyways, Turbine reveals that every time he's tried to get out of the Speed Force, like when he's close to seeing an image about what's going on in the real world, he tries to get out, but every time he does, he gets closer to touching it, and he just gets like spun out of control, and that's the superpower too, to spin at incredibly high speeds. And when Turbine says that every time he does this, he gets himself into a vortex, and that makes Flash realize, wait a minute, you've been causing all the pulls in the time stream. You're the one who sent the EMP blast that happened. And at that moment, Flash and Turbine get into a fight, and Turbine's pretty much just like beating Flash and telling him that all he wants is just to go home. And Flash realizes, okay, I can't stay in here much longer because Turbine is completely insane. So Flash grabs Turbine and brings them both out of the Speed Force, and And the minute right when Flash gets out of the Speed Force, one of his little helmet bolts, his little emblems on his mask, breaks off, and that lands right in front of Iris West and the other people who were pulled in from Central City. Funny. Oh, and when Flash exits the Speed Force, the place on the last page we get to see where he landed, and Flash lands in Gorilla City right when Gorilla Grodd kills his father and takes over Gorilla City. So next issue, Flash is gonna have his first run-in with Gorilla Grodd. Can't wait to read that. All right, well, again, we get more revelations with what's going on with Barry's powers and the Speed Force in this issue, which, I liked it, especially how over time this guy Turbine developed powers while he was stuck in the Speed Force. And another good question is, what happened to him? Like, right when he left the Speed Force with Flash, because when Flash landed, though, he was by himself. He was holding on to Turbine when they were exiting the Speed Force, but when he landed, Flash is by himself. So what happened to Turbine? That's something that I want to find out next issue. Also, again, Gorilla Grodd. If you are a fan of Gorilla Grodd, I would recommend seeing the next issue, because Flash is going to be in Gorilla City. And come on, talking gorillas with mind powers. Who's not going to want to see that? Okay, maybe a couple of people who don't like gorillas, but anyways, this issue is a great issue. Very great. We find out that what's been going on with Flash pulling stuff through time, the Speed Force pulling stuff through time, isn't the Flash's fault, thank God. It's actually this guy. So yay, blame it on someone else. Good lesson. Still, Flash is really great. I mean, I think things are starting to really pick up with Flash. Okay, moving along. Superman number 8. Basically, continuation from number 7. The villain, Hellspawn. He tries to get Superman to join his quest to take over the world and take over his original home planet, but Superman refuses. Superman refuses, and basically Superman kicks it. And a fight breaks out. Superman kicks his ass. Hellspawn ends up teleporting away, and that's really all that happens. Also, Hellspawn does sort of give Superman a brief vision of the future where he's being attacked by some weird soldiers, and then as Clark Kent, he wakes up the next morning and he's writing this article that says Superman's being manhunted across the nation and stuff, and Hellspawn tells Superman that it was just a brief vision of a future that's very likely to come true. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I don't know. Anyways, this was just like a short 2-part story written by Dan Jurgens. I think this was just like this whole 2-parter was just kind of an introduction to the way Jurgens, and I think Keith Giffen is also doing the writing on this. I think this was just kind of an introduction to Jurgens and Giffen, and I like it. This is a lot better than what we've had in Perez, because we're actually hearing Superman talking instead of like 20 pages of what's going on in his head. It's actually coming out of him. And also there is some humor in this book as how Superman's able to save the day, but as Clark Kent, he forgets about a few things. Like he forgot that he promised Lois he would pick up her sister Lucy at the train station, and he forgot that he told Jimmy it was okay to crash at his place for a few days because Jimmy's apartment is being fumigated. But from these 2 issues, I've liked them a lot better than what we've had with Superman since the start of the relaunch. There's definitely some humor, which I like, and, well, it was a very great speech that Superman told Hellspawn about how, even though he's not human, he's pretty much adopted by this world, and he saw the world through his parents' eyes and stuff. But, Superman number 8, it's pretty great. Not, like, super awesome, but pretty nice. I'll say that. Okay, now for the last comic. Definitely one of my new favorite series since the New 52. Aquaman, number 8. Alright, we get... Parts of this issue are told in flashback to 6 years ago. Okay, 6 years ago. That's 1 year prior to the Justice League. Alright? Aquaman... Our okay, our 6 year ago flashbacks start with Aquaman on the day of his father's funeral. Aquaman's father has just died, and he's being hounded by paparazzi asking about his Atlantean heritage. And then Aquaman just gets out of his house and jumps right into the ocean. And apparently that's where he's been for about a year until he forms some team with these other 5 metahumans, and they don't have a team name though, because when Aquaman is telling Mera about this in the present, he says they were never formerly a team, so they had no name. They're just like working with Arthur, and also apparently they are going after Black Manta. And I guess for Aquaman is revenge, because I think my theory is that in the New 52 now, Black Manta had something to do with Aquaman's father dying, because why else would Aquaman be in a hot pursuit to get Black Manta? And of course, 6 years ago, it shows us that Arthur is briefly consumed with revenge, that he's pretty much focused on Black Manta, that he would let an entire village of innocents die in an avalanche just so he can keep following Manta's trail. But fortunately, his team members remind him that revenge, his goal to defeat Manta, shouldn't be higher than protecting innocent lives. So he helps them save everyone in that village, and everyone's happy. Well, 6 years ago. Present day, Arthur just lost Arthur's friend, who we saw last issue with the Jaguar. This woman, Yawara, yeah, that's her name. Yawara takes Aquaman to see the psychic who died, Kahina, yeah. It takes her to see her body, and Arthur pretty much reflects on what she told him 6 years ago, is that she saw into Aquaman's future and told him that he would one day find happiness. And he has a few touching moments with his friend and says that she was right. He did find some happiness with Mera, and he's feeling good about that. But then Yawara and Aquaman get attacked by Black Manta's henchmen, and also meanwhile Mera has been asked by Aquaman to watch over Dr. Shin while he researches the artifact that Aquaman found a couple of issues ago, and Mera also asks him what he knows about Arthur's other team members, because this is all news to Mera. And the last page shows that Black Manta is communicating with someone else on his communicator, and he says that he's found another one of Aquaman's old teammates. And that's where the issue ends. Okay, well, this is definitely an interesting read, because when they restarted the New 52, they all start pretty much, the earliest story we had was Superman 1 year prior to the Justice League. Now we're getting to what Aquaman has been up to before he joined the Justice League. So, it's kind of like year one in a way. We're kind of introduced to Aquaman trying to save his old teammates, while also we're being shown what he kind of did his first year as a superhero, I guess. But yeah, still, Aquaman's a great book. I'm definitely looking forward next issue to see what happens when Black Manta goes after... he's going after this guy, the prisoner, next. So I'm definitely curious about what's going to happen, why Black Manta's after... Well, okay, we know why he's after them. They all have these sort of Atlantean artifacts that Manta wants for some reason, but we don't know what it is, and I'm really looking forward to that. Again, this is written by Jeff Johns, and the guy always, and whenever Jeff Johns writes a story, he always introduces something and leaves you kind of guessing, what's the purpose of this device? What's going to happen? Stuff like that. So, it's definitely piquing my curiosity, and again, this is really making me love Aquaman. Okay, that's all my comics for this week. Alright, in conclusion, Aquaman number 8. Really great story going on here. Can't wait to see what's next. Superman number 8. Sort of a closer to a two-parter that introduces Jurgens and Giffen to the Superman book. Hopefully they'll be able to write some other good stories. Flash number 8. We get a little more answers about the Speed Force, and lead into next issue when Flash faces Gorilla Grodd. Teen Titans number 8. Nothing more than just an introduction to what the hell is going to happen in the Culling story arc. And Captain America number 10. An anticlimactic end to an anticlimactic story arc. And that's my comic reviews for this week. Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.